Hello and welcome to ADHDFest, the podcast all about adult ADHD with a little bit of law of attraction and self-development thrown in there. I am your host, Tara Pratt, and today I want to talk about something that felt like a huge challenge for me. Staying consistent for one whole month. In February, yes, I was so consistent in my business because we did, of course, the book club, which was a one-off. You can go back to that if you want. You can start listening today. It will be there for you forever. But we did daily podcasts. There was an episode every single day in February, apart from the 28th, which I didn't plan. And when I announced it, I didn't 100% know if I could do it, but I did it and I'm so proud of myself, and I promised that I would share with you my consistency tips, how I did it, how I got through it, and how maybe you can apply this to a goal that you want to be more consistent in. So in February, I set myself the challenge to put out a new podcast episode every single day. And if you're someone who struggles with consistency, which I don't see why you wouldn't if you're listening to this podcast and you've got ADHD. I want this podcast to inspire you because if I can do it, then you can too. And with the right approach, you can do anything consistently, or at least seem consistent. I've talked about this a lot on the podcast, about how consistency isn't as literal as a lot of us take it. Even neurotypicals, when they say they do something every single day, it doesn't mean they literally do it every single day. It means they do it most days and they fall off here and there. The difference with neurodivergence is we fall off quite a lot and we find it hard to build up a habit, but it is possible. And here's the secret. It's not about being perfect or pushing through at all costs. It's about setting yourself up for success in an ADHD-friendly way. And I'm going to share exactly how I made that happen, plus some tips you can steal for your own goals, whether it's posting regularly on social media, working on a big project, or just showing up for yourself in a new way. We're going to get right into it. So, number one is I chose a manageable topic. So one of the biggest reasons I didn't burn out this month was because I made my challenge easy for28 It wasn't super duper easy, like I had to put some effort into it, but I didn't overcomplicate it. Instead of coming up with 28 different topics from scratch, I chose something structured, a book club. Each day I covered a chapter. It was simple, it was repeatable, and I didn't have to reinvent the wheel every single day. Can you imagine how hard it would have been for me to do one of these style episodes for 28 days in a row? There's just no way I would have done it because there's too many steps. I would have had to come up with the topic, plan the whole episode, like with bullet points and everything, then record it, then edit it down, then upload it, then write an episode description. By doing it in this book format, I had the book as the structure, so I knew every single day what the topic was going to be because it was just that chapter. I only had to put a little bit of thinking into it after I'd read the chapter because I set a homework task every day for it, and I just wrote that down quickly. But also the description when I put it up was repeatable because it was the same book every single day. So what can you take out of this? What's the lesson for you here? Well, if you're taking on a challenge, make it as brain-friendly as possible. Instead of overwhelming yourself with too many decisions, create a clear, structured plan. So let's take, for example, if you want to go to the gym 4 or 5 days a week. Make sure that you pick something repeatable, whether it's every day you do the same thing, or if that's too certain for you and you need a bit more uncertainty, maybe every Monday you do a Zumba class, every Tuesday you run on the treadmill, every Wednesday you go for a walk with your friends, can you see? But you keep it repeatable so that there's no decisions to make, like it's Monday, we're going to Zumba. And maybe you could do that with your outfits as well, your gym clothes. Every Monday you wear the same outfit to Zumba and vice versa. Just take all the decisions out of it that you can, make it clear, structured, and you'll be good to go. Number 2, I planned ahead and I started early. So I didn't wait until February 1st to record the first episode. I started before the challenge even began, and that gave me a buffer and helped me avoid that panicked last minute scramble. And honestly, I don't always do this. We love to leave things last minute, don't we, when we've got ADHD? But because I think I was so nervous for this and because I knew I had to be consistent with it, I just wanted to get a little bit ahead of the game. So think of it as doing future you a favour. This is the lesson for you. If you're committing to something, don't expect yourself to wing it every day. Preparing in advance can make consistency so much easier. So that is like making a plan if you are going to the gym or if you're going to meal prep or whatever, make a plan in advance. We do love a plan in ADHD. Don't get too bogged down in it. Don't get too detailed because then you get all the dopamine reward and you can't be bothered doing the actual task. But just give yourself a bit of structure, a bit of a plan to follow along with. Don't try and wing it because that's when you're going to trip up or you're going to forget to do something. Okay, number 3, I batched episodes when I felt good. So this was a huge game changer. Some days I have all the energy and motivation in the world. And some days I am overwhelmed and exhausted or just not in the mood. And I know that about myself. So on those good days, I used it. I would record 3 to 4 episodes in one go. And that way I already had content to go if I wasn't feeling the mood or I was overwhelmed or whatever. And I didn't do this too much because if I do more than 3 to 4, I would be burnt out the next day. But also if I plan too far in advance and I've got too much, like time to relax, like I can rest on my laurels because I've done a whole week of episodes, it'll roll around to the next week and I'll completely forget that I need to do more. So I just kept it to 3 or 4 episodes, and also I wanted to keep it really current and do it in real time with you if I could. So the lesson for you here is work with your energy, not against it. If you have a day where you're feeling super focused or creative, do that little bit of extra work so future you can rest, because there are going to come days where you need to rest and you cannot be consistent. So just put in that extra 10-15 minutes when you're feeling good. If you're feeling really good, put in as much effort as you can, but don't burn yourself out. Number 4, I made myself accountable, and that is to you. So I told you guys, my listeners, that I was doing this challenge. I put it out there publicly, and honestly, that's what kept me going. There were definitely days I wanted to skip, especially towards the end, but knowing people were expecting an episode from me made me show up. So how can you make your goal public? Can you find an accountability buddy? Do you want to announce it on social media? Do you just want to tell your friends? Knowing someone else is watching can really push you to keep going when you need to. It can really just give you that extra push. But make sure if you are telling someone or making it public that it's someone who's going to be supportive. Make sure it's not someone who's going to go, oh, what are you doing that for? Oh, don't bother with that. Do this, blah, blah, blah. Make sure it's someone that is rooting for you. Or better yet, for me, obviously you were relying on me, because if you were listening every day and I wasn't here, you would know about it. So it really, really pushed me. Number 5. I had a purpose and a bigger why. Now, this sounds more dramatic than it is. It's really not. But I wasn't just doing this challenge for fun. It was fun, but I had a reason behind it. I wanted to create something valuable and push myself to be more consistent, and also grow my podcast audience. Keeping that goal in mind helped me stay motivated. But my number 1 why was for you, because I know how much my life has changed since I've started accepting myself. Since I am in a book club, I'm in a Law of Attraction book club that is similar to podcasts. So I wanted to pass that on to you because I know how well it works for me. And I just knew I was the person to deliver it, and that book went perfectly. So that was my overall why. It wasn't anything big and dramatic. It was just a desire to help and also to grow the podcast, because I really want to get ADHDFest out there as much as possible. So shameless plug while I'm here, please share the episode, screenshot it while you're listening to it, put it on Instagram in your stories and tag me, and I will share as many as I can. Or just let your friends know, like, subscribe, write a little review. But anyway, what's the lesson for you from this, having a purpose and a bigger why? Just ask yourself, why do I want to do this? If your goal is just, in quotes, because I should, then it won't stick. You need to find a reason that genuinely excites you, that comes from you, not from the expectation of society. So if you are wanting to get fit, why do you want to get fit? If it's because you're embarrassed in front of other people because they make fun of your weight or something like that, then it's not going to stick because it has to come from you. Yes, you might be motivated in the moment, but shame is never a great long-term motivator. If you want to get healthy and fit because you want to feel better, because in summer you got, I don't know, you're running a marathon or something, then and you want to run a marathon, then it's going to stick. So ask yourself what genuinely excites you. Number 6, I attached a reward. So one of the biggest motivators for me was that I knew by showing up every day, my listener count will grow. And my goal has been for a long time to hit 2,000 listens per month. So even if it was just for 1 month, I wanted to hit 2,000 listens in February. And to be honest, I smashed it even before the month ended, and it felt amazing. But watching those listener counts grow every day, that little external reward really helped keep me going because I could see in real time that it was paying off. We with ADHD, we're interest-led and we need instant gratification. If you want to get yourself to do something that takes delayed gratification, then you need to bake in something that is going to reward you daily or it's not going to stick. So for me, it was watching that follower count go up. For you, give yourself something to look forward to, whether that is tracking your progress. I don't really believe in weighing yourself if you are getting fit because muscle is heavier than fat and all that, and I just don't think it's a healthy way to go. But say you can measure how many times you can go to the gym, like how much you can bank, if you're saving, watching that go up every day, something that you can track your progress or celebrating small milestones. So don't wait for that end goal of, I don't know, getting to £1,000 if you're saving up. Celebrate the small milestones. So when you get to £50, you can tick it off and do something to reward yourself and celebrate. And just do it like that. And then the biggest milestone at the end, you can give yourself a bigger reward. Or even, promising yourself a treat at the end. It does make a difference. The long-term delayed gratification as well does make a difference. But I would say spatter it with smaller rewards throughout. Number 7, I practiced self-compassion and I made it easy. So here's the thing, I knew this wasn't going to be perfect. I am a recovering perfectionist. It creeps in now and again, but I'm doing well. So I knew going into this that it wasn't going to be perfect, and I planned for the failure. I knew I would fall off the wagon. I knew there would be a day maybe I'd forget, something like that. And some episodes ended up being a little bit shorter than I wanted them to be. Some weren't as polished, and that's okay. I let it be easy rather than overcomplicating it. There was one day that I didn't get an episode out on time. I have been ill last month and everything, but I just didn't beat myself up about it because every other episode went out at 6 a.m. and this one didn't. I hadn't said that they were going to go out at 6 a.m, but I know some people that were listening daily would have known that. I still put an episode out that day. I didn't beat myself up about it. I just followed my little strategy of read the chapter, come up with a task, record it and put it out. Whether it's perfect or not, whether I've got time to edit it or not, I planned for those failure days and I let myself off when it wasn't perfect. So the lesson for you there is perfectionism will kill your consistency. We've got to allow ourselves sometimes to do B- work. It's better to show up imperfectly than not at all. And I'm going to just go into a little side story here as well, is I've recently picked up some brand work for brands. I'm doing social media content for them. And honestly, the pressure of working for someone else after not working for anyone else for a while got to me, and I really went back into that perfectionist mode. And for example, I did a video for, I don't want to say the brand's name, but it's like a big retailer. And I was showing one product and they wanted a 20-second video. And I ended up with 44 minutes of footage and clips to try and put into this 20-second video. And honestly, I was nearly crying. And then I just thought to myself, take a step back, Tara. It doesn't have to be perfect. Why have I taken 44 minutes of content? Every possible angle, literally unboxing it, putting it out, using it in this way, using it in that way, buying it in the shop. I've taken all these different angles for a 20-second video. And so I was just really ruthless about it. I cut out like half of the stuff and then I just put it together 20 seconds. And I was like, do you know what? It's annoying me because I can't use all of that amazing footage that I've just taken, but I sent it off to the client and they came back and said it was the best one they've ever had. They've never had a better UGC video for that brand. And honestly, that felt amazing. But it also is annoying that I thought I had to put so much more effort in. I wasted so much time. So honestly, give yourself a break. Your B- work is probably A+ to someone else. Do not let perfectionism get in your way. So, to sum up, if you have been telling yourself you just can't be consistent because of ADHD, I hope this episode shows you that you absolutely can. It's not about willpower, it's about working with your brain and making things easier and planning for the hard days before they happen, knowing you're going to fail. Don't go into it with your eyes closed thinking you're going to do everything perfectly. Things are going to go wrong. And as long as you either A, plan for them, or B, if you didn't plan for them, don't beat yourself up and just do it half-arsed, then you'll be fine. So what's one challenge that you'd love to take on? Maybe it's posting on social media, working on a creative project, sticking to a new habit. Let me know and let's make it ADHD friendly together. If you enjoyed this episode, send me a DM, share it with a friend and tag me. I'd love to hear from you. Check out all the links below. If you are wanting to create some new habits, you can check out the Body Doubling Club in our membership. It's podcasts just like this, but in real time, and we do tasks together. There's over 50 episodes in there now, and it's just a small monthly fee, or you can check out the Burnout Bible if you're feeling a little bit overwhelmed at the moment. But I'll leave all the links to everything down below. And until next time, keep showing up in a way that works for you, and I'll see you all next week. Bye.